7 persuasion techniques to win any argument. Have you ever felt like you're just not getting through to someone in a disagreement? Like you're talking in circles, and it's only a matter of time before someone storms out or throws a metaphorical tomato? We've all been there. In today's video, I'm going to share 7 powerful persuasion techniques that will transform your arguments from frustrating standoffs to productive conversations. These techniques are simple, effective, and they work every time. Okay, maybe not time, because people are complex and arguments are like snowflakes. No two are exactly alike. Let's jump right in. First things first, stay calm. Easier said than done, right? Especially when the other person is throwing logic and reason out the window like confetti at a parade. But trust me, staying calm gives you a huge advantage. When you're calm, you're less likely to react emotionally. You can think clearly, process information effectively, and respond thoughtfully. This makes you appear more reasonable and collected, which in turn makes people more likely to take you seriously. So, next time you feel that familiar heat rising during a disagreement, take a deep breath, channel your inner Zen master, and respond with calmness and composure. Technique number 2 is to ask open-ended questions. Instead of asking closed-ended questions like, "Do you really believe that?" which can feel confrontational and put people on the defensive, try asking open-ended questions like, "Can you help me understand your perspective?" Or, "What led you to that conclusion?" Asking open-ended questions shifts the tone of the conversation from a battle of opinions to a genuine exploration of different viewpoints. It shows the other person that you're genuinely interested in understanding their perspective, even if you don't agree with it. This can lead to a more nuanced and productive conversation, where both parties feel heard and respected. Plus, you might even learn something new. This one seems obvious, but you'd be surprised how often people forget it in the heat of the moment. People argue with opinions, but they can't argue as easily with facts. So arm yourself with knowledge. Before you even engage in a debate, do your research. Make sure you have a solid understanding of the topic at hand, and be prepared to back up your claims with credible sources. Stick to the facts, and your arguments will be much more persuasive. Chapter 4. Find common ground. Even in the most heated arguments, there's usually some area of agreement, however small it may be. Finding that common ground is like building a bridge between two opposing sides. When you acknowledge something you both agree on, it shows that you're not against them as a person. This creates a sense of unity and camaraderie, making it easier for the other person to see things from your perspective. By establishing that common ground, you create a more receptive audience for your arguments. Chapter 5. Acknowledge their points. Here's the thing about arguments. People want to feel heard and validated. When someone feels like their opinions are being dismissed or ignored, they're more likely to dig in their heels and become even more resistant to your perspective. Simply acknowledging their perspective shows that you're listening and that you respect their opinion, even if you don't share it. By validating their perspective, you create a more collaborative and less combative atmosphere, making it more likely that they'll be open to hearing your side of the story. Chapter 6. Use I statements. This technique is all about taking ownership of your feelings and opinions. Instead of using you statements, which can sound accusatory and put people on the defensive, like "you always do this," or "you're wrong about that," try using I statements instead. For example, instead of saying "you should try seeing things from my perspective," try saying "I feel like my perspective isn't being fully understood." When you take ownership of your own feelings, you come across as less confrontational and more empathetic, which can help de-escalate the situation and encourage a more productive dialogue. Chapter 7. Know when to walk away. Sometimes the best way to win an argument is to walk away. Not all arguments are worth having, and sometimes the most persuasive thing you can do is to disengage from the conversation altogether. If you've tried all the other techniques and the discussion is still going nowhere, if the other person is being disrespectful or unwilling to engage in a constructive manner, it's perfectly okay to politely excuse yourself. Remember, you can't force someone to see your point of view, no matter how compelling your arguments may be. Sometimes the best course of action is to simply agree to disagree and move on. Persuasion Power Up. So there you have it. 7 techniques to transform your arguments from frustrating to fantastic. Look, I get it, arguing can be tough, but it doesn't have to be a battle royale of egos and insults. By using these techniques, you can turn disagreements into opportunities for growth, understanding, and maybe even a little bit of laughter along the way. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on influence and persuasion. Let me know in the comments which technique you found most interesting.